Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you this late morning, about to go into early afternoon in a moment for a Smash Mouth self-titled album review that I'm reviewing for their 2001 album. For the third studio album, like I said, Smash Mouth's self-titled album that I just got done listening to for all 13 tracks. It has the song I'm a Believer in this album, so I'm going to discuss what I listened to for all 13 songs for this self-titled album of theirs and let you know my thoughts on it. So let's dive into this album review now. May Steve Harwell rest in peace. Sorry, I'm slipping up with my wording today. I'm just a little tired today, but just trying to wait on my money today, so pretty much Holiday in My Head is the first track. Excuse my yawning. Yeah, Holiday in My Head is the first song. I was a little disappointed with how it turned out. I'm not trying to be mean in this review. It's because of Steve Harwell's passing. It just, this song didn't click for me with how it sounded, mixing wise and all that. Steve Harwell singing in it had its good and bad points. So 2.5 out of 5 for Holiday in My Head. I just didn't like how it sounded. Your Man was a solid track. I wasn't hating this song too much, but I wouldn't say it's the worst song for this album. It's probably the highlight for this album. Some of the mixing did okay, but basically with how it sounded overall, I think drum work and some of the electronic work in it is alright. So 4.5 out of 5. Excuse my yawning in this video. Like I said, I'm a little tired and I feel like I got enough sleep, but I don't feel like I did. It feels like it, and then it doesn't. So, next song is Pacific Coast Party. This one was a single. I think it's average. It's just not anything mind-blowing. Great, mostly. So, I just think with how it sounds overall, I think it did alright. It's not the worst track, but it's average. With some of the vocals from Steve Harwell sounding okay, and just the overall melody just being like, it's kind of basic. 3.5 out of 5. She Turns Me On is an average track too. Kind of going to give it the same rating I gave the last song, 3.5 out of 5. I like some things in the track, but then there's some other aspects in the song that kind of ruin it a bit. Not in the worst way, but in a slightly iffy way. 3.5 out of 5. Sister Psychic is a decent track. I'm not really hating this track too much, but I feel it's decent for what it's going for. Some of the production in it's alright, and just the way Steve Harwell singing it, some of the time sounds good and somewhat iffy at times, but it still worked. So 4 out of 5. Out of Sight is a decent track too. Not hating it. It's just I wouldn't say in the middle with this one, but there's some things to like about it, and then a few critiques that I have about this track. Sorry, it's my pen. If you're wondering, I am so sorry for yawning in this video. Like I said, I'm really tired. I do not know why. I feel like I got enough sleep, but it doesn't feel like I did. So 4 out of 5 for Out of Sight. Force Field is a solid track. I think the second half is where the album kicks off in a better way, majority-wise. So I think this is a solid track. The drum work in it's pretty strong. The guitar work's pretty alright, and the way Steve Harwell singing in it is good in its own way. So 4.5 out of 5. Shoes and Hats had some cringy moments at the beginning of the song, but it did pick up as the rest of the song progressed and did alright. So 4.5 out of 5 for this one. Hold You High is another solid track. Not really hating how it's sounding. Steve Harwell's vocals sounds pretty alright. There are some repetitive moments that kind of deplete the song from executing well, but it did do alright for what it went for. So 4.5 out of 5. The Inset is a solid track. I'm not really hating the vibe to it. Steve Harwell's vocals sound pretty good in its own way. And just the way how it sounded overall with just the production and all that, it did alright. So 4.5 out of 5 for the inset. Disenchanted is not too bad of a track. I actually did like Steve Harwell's vocals with how it sounded, and just the way the melody sounded overall did alright in my opinion. So pretty much 4.5 out of 5. Then comes Keep It Down, and that was a decent one. There were some production and repetitive moments in the track with some of the electronic work, but it did alright, and most likely the drum work and guitar work was pretty solid. So I'd give this a 4 out of 5. There's some cringy moments, but there are some slightly alright moments. I'm a Believer is the final track to the album, and this is a solid one. I think this was a pretty catchy track because of how it being on the Shrek movie, and very popular track. Probably the best closing track in my opinion. One of the highlights, but I wouldn't say it's the best of the best. I think All Star is the best, and this is going to get a 4.5 out of 5 in my opinion. So it's solid for what it is. Steve Harwell's vocals sound alright in it. Overall, production, mixing, and execution wise, I think Smash Mouth's self-titled album was okay. I wasn't really impressed with it too much because of Holiday in My Head being the weakest song, depleting the album's rating big time. And the rest of the tracks were average, decent, and the stronger tracks were the 4.5 out of 5 songs. And you get like maybe 5 to 8 songs that are pretty alright. Then the rest kind of ruined the reception, so slightly ruined the reception. So if I were to give Smash Mouth's self-titled album an overall score, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Like I said, I'm not trying to be too critical in this. I just didn't find this to be my favorite Smash Mouth album. It was alright. I think Astro Lounge was the best so far that I've listened to. But this album, it's okay. They tried something with it, but it didn't execute in the best way possible, in my opinion. Which still, rest in peace to Steve Harwell. He will be missed. It's been a little over a week since he's passed away, and I just wanted to review the Smash Mouth albums for you guys, just as a marathon studio album reviews in memoriam to Steve Harwell's passing. So pretty much 6.5 out of 10 for Smash Mouth's self-titled album, their 2001 album. Thank you guys for watching this album review.